Pug. Actually, this is nice of you for the actual type of material that you post on your channel. I really enjoyed this one, and I thank you very much for helping the St. Thomas Community Gardens, putting their message out that they're not out to destroy the world, they're not out to ruin that next door neighbor's property. And frankly, I'm going to step up to the plate and offer the following. There is no bylaw in existence in any city or town in regards to gardens. None. And I'll explain. This is not a botanical garden. It is a multiple plot piece of land that's been divided into smaller gardens that can be used by the community who want to pay a user fee so that they can actually use a plot for an ordained amount of time to grow their own vegetables of choice. I've lived in St. Anne de Madawaska in not Moncton, but New Brunswick, which is a northeastern township in the province of New Brunswick. My grandmother had a plot of land that was 3 times the size of what she's currently using behind her house to grow her own produce. Rhubarb, strawberries, raspberries, cabbage, carrots, onions, potatoes, you name the vegetable that you commonly get from your actual supermarket, she grew it. Her costs were minimized because she had year-round produce. You store them in the cellar when you actually pick them, and you winterize them. Basically, you put them in sand so that they keep their own, not moisture, but they keep themselves relatively useful, or you can them. I'm sorry that the next door neighbor doesn't see any possibility of herself using the garden next door to grow her own favorite vegetables. Frankly, I think that the township of St. Thomas deserves spanking. It's possibly the best way of putting it. With their shorts around their ankles, bent over on the knee of the community, and slapped until they cry their eyes out, because this is completely unacceptable as a human being, especially in the township like yours or city. I don't know how big St. Thomas is, but I do know that St. Thomas is like anything else in Canada. It's a place to live in. I'm sorry that the neighbors seem to think that they needed to be consulted to have it. Okay, let me put it this way. How about if a sanitary landfill was actually put there and they had no way of being able to voice their opinion? I'm pretty damn sure that they would have been happier to have that there, right? How about a tire dump manifesting itself in loads and loads of mosquitoes infesting the neighborhood? They would have been probably happier, right? Or how about this? A radioactive dump. For God's sakes! If the next door neighbor can't see the possibilities of this particular garden taking place and actually allowing people to have a productive aspect in the community, she deserves, or he, I don't know if it's a he or a she, but a slap across the face comes to mind with an open palm. I'm sorry. I'm a very big proponent when it comes to actually doing things like this. I have no plot of land to be able to grow a garden, even if I wanted to. My soil needs to be redone if I want to, even if I wanted to have a small plot, because it's pretty much a clay base here. There, you guys have something that I actually am head over heels for. And the fact of the matter, vermin my ass. I'm pretty sure if you destroyed that person's house, you'd probably find vermin coming from the rubble. It's as simple as that. Vermin is to be found anywhere. Okay? In gardens, you'll have the positive kind, not the negative kind. Then that is basically field mice. You'll have any types of mice, but those, they don't hide in the garden. They don't hide around your own property unless you like to have long grass, almost hay, shrubbery that isn't properly kept. Those will actually engender living spaces more than a community garden will. There's so much traffic that possibly will be going there humanly. By that, I do not mean cars blocking your one-way street, but more to the point, people actually making their way into the garden, leaving their scent. There's not going to be many vermin, or what they deem as vermin. Since when is deer vermin? For God's sakes, have you ever seen a deer walk up to a person or walk up to your house to chew on your foundation? To actually create a nest inside your insulation? I mean, for God's sakes, deal with it like other people do. We have a moose that goes loose in here in Moncton, gets stuck in the muddy river, the Petitcodiac. We fish it out. We then have the DNR, Department of Natural Resources, take it and bring it back to the wilderness. Same goes with a deer. You'll have fluffy bunny rabbits once in a while that actually go by. The positive kind of actual animals that you should be seeing in green spaces. And as for the composting idea, it's a good idea. And frankly, I'm not an environmentalist. I do know environmental law enough to be able to defend myself, and what they're doing is harassment. And I'm surprised that the town or city decided to actually post that notice with one person putting a complaint. One. It's not a zoning issue. It's the fact that the city wants to make a brave show of face. Unfortunately, in the wrong direction. They should be encouraging it, and frankly, I'm not discouraged, but I'm thoroughly disappointed in the town council, because if they have time to do this, I'm sorry, that means what exactly for your town council or your city council? They have no time for anything else? Are they doing their jobs? Are they actually doing their jobs? I mean, come on. To do this, something positive, and actually say, yoink, we're pulling the plug on you guys, and if you try to do something else, this comes to mind. Okay, it really does. I'm sorry. As for your water issue, if you want to help the neighbor, put up rain barrels with fine mesh screening, so that you do not have any mosquito issues, and the barrels themselves could be used with hoses down below for people to actually throw it around. If you want to keep your garden free of weeds, relatively free of weeds, I do recommend the following. Look up on how to actually do a specific type of tea from a plant that grows naturally in the wild. And I'm trying to find the word in English, and it's not coming to mind. I think it's a burr. And in French, it's called chardon. Thé de chardon actually assists in allowing people to keep their areas free of weeds, because it's a type of plant that's very competitive, and it itself secretes a type of enzyme that discourages plant growth in its area, especially for other weeds, other very aggressive and competitive weeds. So don't stop, and I hope that you win the case, and I hope that that neighbor suddenly decides to change face and say, I'm going to be a part of the community. Maybe if you offer her a plot for free, she might be less of a grumpy Gus or a sour lemon. Anyways, Pug, thank you so very much for posting this. Most informative and also very Canadian. Have a nice one.